What's good and happy Thanksgiving, all of my good people. Coming from Uncle Fred today. Uh, Cowboys get a great. Actually, I'm gonna cover both wins last week and this week in kind of brief detail, and tell you some of the things that's going on with the Cowboys. But man, we 8-3. It's Thanksgiving Day, and it don't get no better than this. But we gonna talk about that here in just a minute. Y'all hang tight with your boy. Again, what's good, people? I am Uncle Fred back in the house one more again. Been absent for a few days as we head into the holiday season, and it's Thanksgiving Day, and the day was filled with a lot of great things and some reflective things. As you and as the holiday season comes around, sometimes you reflect on a lot of things today. Again, happy Thanksgiving. And as you see, I got on my John Madden shirt too. Big John Madden fan. It was John Madden Day today in the NFL. Everybody had a John Madden decal on their jerseys. Love me some John Madden. I know that's not something that y'all not didn't know. If you're a Cowboy fan, you've been a Cowboy fan for 20 or 30 years, you love you some John Madden too, because it was nothing like John Madden and Pat Summerall calling y'all's games on Sunday afternoons, man. It was nothing like it, man. You was in heaven, man, as in the football world, of course. When them guys was calling them games, man, it was just special. It was just special, and nobody today can touch him. I mean, I know Romo is pretty good. Troy Aikman is pretty good. My man that called the game, he's good too. Greg Olson he's good too. I know some Cowboy fans don't like him, but he's good too. But it's John Madden Day. Look, it's Happy Thanksgiving today. I just want to give you a little public service announcement, message, or what have you on that. It was a very kind of Thanksgiving for me. About a year ago, around this same time, I lost like one of my best friends in the world. I'm talking about a friend of over 30 years. Um, and like we went through and did everything together. Um, we were young bachelors together, running the streets, if you want to call it that, together, and got married around the same time and raised our kids and dealt with family issues, together and stuff like that. Went through all that stuff, and then I lost him last year, about this time actually. So it's been a tough year. Well, I got the honor to have his widow and his kids over to the house today for Thanksgiving, and it was just indeed an honor. So it was a day we got a chance to talk about some things, talked about him and things we missed about him, and what he would expect for us to be doing, and be happy and don't be but that was a definitely a blessing today to have that come over, have them come over. It was other people that came over today too, but that was just special to me. So I've been all over the map emotionally as this Thanksgiving season is in and whatnot, and um just a message that, man, be thankful for whatever you have and friends or whatever you have, your family that you have. Tell them folks you love them. Never know when they won't be there. Man, ain't no day promised. That's all I say. Not trying to get too churchy on y'all. God is good though, and that's not to be debated. But on with today's games, and I just want to leave that with you as we get into this Thanksgiving season. And of course, Thanksgiving had its games today. And the first thing I want to say to Cowboy fans, I'm finna pull a Vosh Lombardi. How your water tasting right about now? Huh? How y'all water tasting? It's tasting pretty good right about now. It's filtered, coming right out of the fridge, filtered ice, sparkling today. Water's pretty good today. Cowboys get a win, but yeah, they actually got 2 wins. I didn't come to you guys last week. Cowboys got a business win against the Carolina Panthers last week. Wasn't exactly happy with the win last week. And I think in both games last weekend, this week's game, uh, the scoreboard didn't indicate the flow of the game. One point in the game last week, I think it was 17-10 in the third quarter. And Dak led them on after we've been kind of shooting ourselves in the foot for about 2 or 3 drives in the third quarter. Towards the end of that third quarter, we started putting the drive together and drove about 80 yards. And with Tony Pollard going the last 22, powering into the end zone, winning, and then capped off, of course, both games, but capped off with a Deron Bland pick six. Man, what else you going to say about that guy, right? But both games, I don't know, I'm going to say we played well, and I'm happy with the win. Very happy with both wins. But both games, I felt like the team kind of let teams hang around, kind of let them drive the football on us, especially last week because we know Carolina's not that good. I think the Washington Commanders are good. They're just not playing well right now. There's talent on that team. Terry McLaurin is a quality receiver. So is Jahan Dotson. He's quality receiver. Brian Robinson's a quality running back. And Sam Howell can sling that thing. You know, that's not a bad football team, right? Um, Curtis Samuel, forgot all about him. I think he had a 30-something yard catch today on Bland. So, you know, like I said, Bland had a good game. And he's going to be in when I start talking about the stars of the game. He's in there. But the Cowboys get a win. There's a bunch of exciting things that happened in the game. You know, Cowboys led from the get-go with 7-0. And then they allowed the Commanders to come back. I mean, they drove the ball a lot. This is the first time this year that the Cowboys have given up a 300-yard passer, because I think he had 300 yards. You know, don't get me the line. I can tell you right here. Yeah, he had 300 and on the dot. He was 28 of 44, 300 yards, and no touchdowns, 1 interception. Got sacked 4 times for 32 yards. But anyway, the Cowboys punted on their first drive. Then they get the ball back. They made them punt twice, and they get the ball, and they go 11 plays and 90 yards, and culminated with a touchdown pass to Rico Dowdle out in the right flat. Got some good blocking, kind of zigzag kind of through the traffic, and went into the end zone 7-0. Of course, the Commanders came right back, and they drive the field, and there was some nice plays that they had in that drive, man, and had me kind of, I don't know, a little concerned. But they drove 9 plays, 50 yards, and end up with a field goal, and I think a sack, which was kept them out the end zone. You know, we kept getting sacks. We got sacks. We had 4 today, 7 last week against the Carolina Panthers, 5 the week before against the Giants. And so, yeah, we've been on a sack fest, kind of, sort of, right? And so it was 7-3. Then the Cowboys drove again, made it 14-3 with a nice 31-yard touchdown pass to Brandon Cooks. Man, Brandon Cooks, he's starting to get on track, man. And then of course, we let them come down and get a touchdown run to make it 14-10. And then right before halftime, we get a touchdown pass, and we missed the extra point, which, I mean, I don't know, man. We went 5 plays, 75 yards, and it was culminated with a Tony Pollard 7-yard run on first and goal from the 7. PAT failed. 2010 at halftime. Third quarter, kind of didn't do a whole lot. I thought we was kind of like, the play calling was kind of We get a nice play on first down, 4 or 5 yards. Then we try some stupid screen play that lose 5-6 yards, and that's 3rd and 12. And I should have mentioned it on the onset. It looked like from the onset that we was trying to beat them deep. I know Emmanuel Forbes didn't play, who's their best cover corner. He was out today. So we was trying to attack deep, and I think Dak missed a couple of throws early. One to Tolbert, he missed a deep one. Another one to CeeDee Lamb that he was open. Another one we missed, but CeeDee had it in his hand and didn't reel it in. But and people, I seen people in the chats talking about Dak missed a couple of early touchdown passes, but we was in the second quarter when Dak was like 10 or 13 for like 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. He missed three. We missed 3 passes out of 11 out of 13 passes. Missed 3. 10 out of 13. What are we doing here, man? You're not hitting everything. You're not gonna go 100%. But we was and then we kind of put a drive together, leading out of the third quarter into the fourth quarter. We went 3 plays, 24 yards. We kicked the field goal and then make it 23-10. And then of course we go 3 plays, 24 yards, and we get a touchdown, 15 yards for CeeDee Lamb. PAT failed again. But no, that's not a PAT fail. That's when they thought we was going for 2, and they thought CeeDee Lamb didn't get it. That's right. They thought CeeDee Lamb didn't get it, but under further review, he did get that second foot down. I'm reading the thing. So wait a minute, I watched the game. That wasn't a PAT fail. They thought it was PAT. Then when they went back and reviewed it, they saw he got both feet down. So that made it 31-10. And then to close the door on our scoring from an offensive perspective. Dak Prescott hits the returner. What is his name? Kevontae Turpin on like a 35-yard touchdown pass, and so I think it was. Let's see, how many yards was that? 34 yards. I said 35, 34 yards. And that made it 38-10. And of course, now that was good. I mean, that was perfect. Dak had perfect protection in the pocket, dropped back, set his feet, scanned the field. Turpin was breaking. Turpin's got great speed, and I like it in our offense now that they found ways to get Kevontae Turpin involved in the offense. Because it was he didn't hardly what he had like 1 pass for 9 yards last year in the Kellen Moore offense. He's got, I know, at least 3 touchdown passes this year. I know he got 1 against the 49ers, got 1 against the Eagles, and I know he got 1 today. So I know he at least has 3 touchdown passes for the season. And and he's using a lot of other ways, using them on screens, runs out of the backfield and stuff like that. So he's getting very involved in the offense because he's got good speed, he's elusive, and so. But it was interesting because they ran down. And just like, we've always had around the Christmas season, you always got the salvation bucket in the end zone. So apparently they had stuffed some turkey legs in foil in the Salvation Army bucket. So when they went down there, Turpin got in the bucket, and then Dak ran down there, and him and couple other guys went into the bucket and they got a chicken leg out the bucket. And so they're walking off the field. Of course, we know the game's over. It's 38-10. It's about 4.5, 5 minutes left to go in the game. And, Dak's walking off the field, biting a turkey leg. It was great, man. It was great, man. It was a great Thanksgiving thing, man. They all jump in the bucket and they get the turkey leg and they're eating the turkey leg as they're walking off the field. That's just good, man. It just felt good to be a Cowboys fan and see that, right? That was just great stuff, man. And I was just thinking, I said, man, that's a great day that Dak is having. And I know they were saying it on the telecast, and when the telecast came on, that Dak's the most scrutinized, the most criticized, the most disrespected quarterback in the NFL. It just feels good for him to get a win like that, and him to be able to flex a little bit like that, and he's having one hell of a season right now. And I know we got to finish this thing, and he's got to play some much tougher competition as the season goes on. But I just got to give credit where credit's due. And I think if you watching the game like you're supposed to be, like you should be, you will appreciate what Dak's doing. Okay, and then to seal the game off, the Commanders are driving and they get back to like our own, about to their our 40-yard line, and or about midfield, and then he throws a pass out in the flat. I don't know who it was going to, and by all I know who it ended up going to. It ended up going to Deron Bland. Caught that thing on the sideline, and I'm like, oh, could he get his fifth? But he got 60 yards to go. So he starts down the sideline. He's going, and my son, he's pulling against him. He's like talking about, he ain't going to score. And then he got down to the sideline. He sees Howell and some other guys down there. He promptly, cuts back across the middle, cuts back to the sideline. Coast into the end zone, 63-yard interception return. That makes not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 pick sixes. That is an NFL record. Take a bow, Deron Bland. We'll be hearing from him in a little bit on out when we start talking about our stars of the game. And that punctuated the game, just like he had like a 15, 18-yard one last week that punctuated the Carolina game that made it 33 to 10. He punctuated this one to make it 45 to 10. And that closed the books on the Commanders in this game. All right. So let's get into the stats of the game. As you look on here, the stars of the game. Obviously, it begins and it ends with it begins and ends with Dak Prescott. And where is my thing, man? Yeah, here you go. I don't know how I got off of that. It begins and ends with Dak Prescott. Like I said, he missed a couple throws early while they were trying to go deep. They were just a little off. I mean, that's fine. You're not going to hit all of those. He hit a couple late, though, because he hit Cooks for a long one, hit Turpin for a long one. He hit CeeDee Lamb for a couple of intermediate ones. But Dak Prescott was 22 out of 32 for 334 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, second straight week with no sacks, third straight week with no sacks, I'm sorry. And he's got 4 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, and 4 touchdowns. So he's got 10 touchdowns the last 3 weeks and 1 interception. Over the last 5 weeks, he's got 16 touchdowns and 1 interception. Most in the NFL. So yeah, you gotta give Dak his props. Right now he's sitting at 2,960 yards, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions right now. Okay, and he's having one great season, so he deserves that turkey leg. And I think, like I said, he's got to prove some stuff as we get as the competition ramps up. One thing I did see, and I was talking about that earlier, that I thought the things that was concerning me, that we were allowing some of the, the teams that, kind of to grind us up a little bit. They had a 9-play drive. I saw Carolina last week give us a 10-play drive, and where they're getting 4 or 5 yards, 6 yards on first down. I think even Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders had like 13 and 15-yard runs in that game. And I mean, we can't let them do that and whatever. But and maybe it's like, we're going to keep the game plan on defense pretty vanilla because we got better personnel. And we start playing better personnel, we can kind of scheme it up a little bit better. And we kind of see, of course, now today we was playing without J-Ron Curse, who had a back, and Wanye Thomas got a little more playing time today, which a lot of people is kind of looking to that. He definitely is the future at the safety position, and stuff. So the stars of the day, like I said, starts with Dak, Rain, Dakota Prescott, 22 out of 32, 331, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Last like 4 weeks, 16 touchdowns and 1 interception. Okay. I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks, 4 catches, 72 yards, couple of nice catches, I think on like 6 targets. Had that deep one, 31-yard kind of post corner sort of route. And 4 for, and I think he's got 5 touchdown passes now too. So yeah, I like it that he's like led us in yardage last couple of games, because CeeDee Lamb I think only had let's see here. CeeDee Lamb only had 53 yards. I think he was 6 catches for 38 yards last week, and he was 4 catches for 53 yards on 9 targets. Like I said, they missed him a couple times early. Brandon Cooks had 4 and on 5 targets, so they only missed on 1 time. And like I said, caught up on a 31-yard gain. And Tolbert ended up with a 31-yard gain. So Dak hit some nice deep ones today. He had a 31-yarder to Cooks, a 31-yarder to Tolbert, and a 35-yarder to Ferguson, and a 24-yarder to Jalen Brooks. So he got some deep ones going today. So Brandon Cooks 31, Tolbert 31, Ferguson 35, Devontae Turpin 34, Jalen Tolbert 20, Jalen Brooks 24, Devontae Turpin 34. So and a lot of so there's a lot of deep shots there. So it was obvious that we was trying to go deep on that. So on defense, I got to begin and end with Deron Bland. I mean, now he and not only did he have a pick six, a clinching pick six, he also led us in tackles. That's the one thing I love about Deron Bland. I mean, no shade to Trayvon Diggs. But Trayvon Diggs never met a tackle that he liked. He's going to avoid tackles as much as possible. And if you look at how Bland is built, he's a lot thicker than Diggs is, right? So I see him on run plays. He's up in there blasting guys and shooting gaps and making tackles and stuff. So that's why he had 10 tackles today, right? And I seen him up on the line of scrimmage and jamming guys. He's a physical corner that got ball skills. Now, it's just the one thing I don't like about fans, because they start wanting to. Seems like the latest thing is always better than the former thing, which I don't like that at all. It's almost like you forget about things. I'm starting to hear, I'm seeing in the chat like, oh, Deron Bland is better than Trayvon Diggs. Let's pump the brakes on that, because that's not even an argument really that needs to be had. I mean, why can't we just have 2 premium A-plus corners? Why you got to try to put one against the other one or better than the other one? I mean, why we got to do that? Why we got to play that? Okay. Now, there are things about Bland's game that I like better than Diggs. Namely, I just mentioned that he is physical. He's not afraid to tackle. He's not afraid to get his head up in there and tackle. And he don't miss tackles. All right. And I like that about him. But there's a lot of things I think he gets beat on that I'm not necessarily sure that Diggs gets beat on. Okay. But he's just as good on ball skills as Trayvon. So we're not losing anything there. But I think sometimes there's certain things he gets beat on. But he's a good corner now. He's a good corner. Remember, he's only his second year in. So for him to be doing what he's doing his second year in, because, Trayvon did his thing his second year in, too. He had 11 picks his second year. This is Bland's second year, and he's already, I think he's up to 6 interceptions. Is it 6 or 7? I'm not sure how many interceptions. I think he got 6 or 7, but 5 of them have been returned for touchdowns. And he's got interceptions in 3 straight weeks, because he got one on a deep pass against the Giants, and he had the pick 6 against the Panthers. He had a pick 6 against the Commanders. So he's got 5 pick 6s and so. But yeah, he gets. I'm going to go with Bland because he had 10 tackles, 7 unassisted, 1 pass breakup, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Okay, so yeah, he since because he set that record, yeah, he gets the star of the day. Then on as far as the defense goes, I'm gonna go with Osa Odigizua. His stat line goes this way: he had 5 tackles, 4 unassisted, solo, whatever. 1 tackle for loss, 1 quarterback hit. And I saw him making a lot of plays on the run, or because they tried a lot of couple of fourth down runs. And I seen Odigizua come up in there and stop that at the line of scrimmage. And he was constantly, in the run gaps and stuff like that. And of course, they got some runs on him early. But later in the game, they really shut a lot of that stuff down after halftime. And of course, you can't go nowhere without Micah Parsons. I think he had 3 tackles, 2 solo, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits, coming off of a 2.5 sack last week, which is interesting because in the Giants game, which I failed to mention in my video, he had no stats, which I had never seen a star player have no stats. It's almost like he didn't play. And that's what had him mad. Like, even though we won 49-17, I ain't got no stats. I'm looking up and down the stat sheet, and I don't see Micah nowhere. I'm like, he registered a tackle, an assist, a tackle for loss, a pass breakup, a quarterback hit, or nothing. Stub his toe, nothing, Water still tasting good, people. Water still tasting good, fam. It still is. So he made it a point. And it was said last week too, coming into the Carolina game. Oh, Michael gonna get some sacks this week. I don't care what you say. And they kept lining him up over the center. He kept pushing him to the side and going to get the quarterback. And the half a sack they gave him and J-Ron Kerr shared that sack. But this week he got a sack and a half, and then some other things. Like I mentioned, 3 tackles, 2 solo, a sack and a half. So he's got 4 sacks the last 2 games. And 3 quarterback hits. Now, this is the one that's gonna shock you. Jonathan Hankins. Yeah, our big run stuffer. Our big Jonathan, big 9'5". He on there. Jonathan Hankins had 4 tackles, 3 solo, had 2 tackles for losses, and 2 sacks. Jonathan Hankins led us in sacks. He had 2 sacks. He had 2 of the 4 sacks. Jonathan Hankins, if you need him. So, yeah, Jonathan Hankins makes the stuff. He go to the cookout today. Jonathan Hankins has 2 sacks. And so I know that had to feel good for Jonathan Hankins. So those are our stars of the game for today. And Cowboys offense, I think it's our second straight. Well, no. We didn't have 400 yards last week. We had 337 yards last week. But we had 431 yards this week. The Commanders had more first downs than us. I think they had more rushing attempts, but that was odd because they don't really run the ball a lot, because I think they're like towards the bottom of the league in rushing attempts. But I think that's like the thing that they do against us, is that they want to run the football on us. That's going to be the thing until we slow it down, until we stop it. We were 6 of 10 on third down. They were 7 of 15. So those are the things I'm concerned about. We let them almost have a 50% completion on third down, and they were over 3 on fourth down. Like I said, Odigizua was up in there, and Hankins was up in there, and they were stuffing them on those fourth and short conversions. And they ran more plays than us. The Commanders had 75 plays to our 50. Okay. And, we can't let those teams do that to us, grind us up like that. Okay. Can't do it. Can't let them grind us up, like that. It just can't, we just can't do it. And they outrushed us. They had 109 yards rushing. Of course, they didn't have a 100-yard rusher, but they rushed totally from a team for 108 yards to our 100 yards. So those are some concerns, right? Let's just look at this here. So what this accomplishes is it's accomplished what it does every time we beat one of these teams we're supposed to beat. Of course, it's all going to be the same narrative. People are going to say the same things about us until we beat one of these teams. Now I'm going to tell you who we're going to be playing. But what this accomplished, it's increased our confidence, and we can work on stuff and plays. Look, we're working on some stuff. There was some stuff I wanted to talk about last week. I didn't get on last week, but we ran the Wildcat play, and I'm like, stop running that crap. Because we ran it one time and with Rico Dowdle running it behind center and got Dak out at the wide receiver thing and tried to run that play, and it got stopped for a 1 yard gain, and then they tried it again, and Tony Pollard, tried to run it and got pushed in the backfield by Burns when we was playing Carolina and lost 10 yards. And while we was, driving for a touchdown, we ended up having to settle for a field goal on that drive, right? And you just do silly stuff, man. I'm like, why they bring that out? And I'm thinking they brought it out because as a team, hey, we can test that out against them just to kind of then we run some variations off of it against some other teams. But I was like, y'all trying things against them. So that's when you play in other teams, you increase your confidence. You work on stuff and plays and players, and then you prepare for the balance of the season. So this is what a balance of our season looks like. Okay, now the narrative always has been Cowboys dominant against the subpar to the average teams, not so good against the great teams. Okay, Cowboys did something I have never seen a team do. They have 7 wins this season of our 8. 7 of our 8 wins are for more than 20 points. That's why I think we lead the league in point differential. 7 wins. This is our 7th win. We only got 8. 7 wins are for more than 20-point wins. We got the Giants for 41, okay, or 40. Got the Giants for 40. Got the Jets for 21 because I think it was 31-10 or 30-10. So it was yeah. So it was 40 and 30. Then we beat the Patriots by 35. Then we only beat the Chargers by 3. Then we beat the Rams by 23. Then we lost to the Eagles. Then we beat the Giants by 32. Beat the Carolina Panthers by 23. And then beat these guys by 35. So 7 wins by 20 points or more. I don't know what the record is, but that's pretty good. Now, what's going to tell the tale of the tape is that the schedule and the competition ratchets up the next 5-6 weeks, and that's who we play. We don't play Sunday, and I wish they'd just go back to, when we play on Thanksgiving, go on, give us the 10 days, because we're playing 2 games in 4. Give us them 10 days, But at least we're playing a team that played on Thanksgiving also. We're playing the Seattle Seahawks, who got their butts whipped tonight by the San Francisco 49ers. And I was kind of pulling for the 49ers for the Seahawks to win that. Because I like playing a team after they won a game. I don't like playing a team after they lost a game. When teams lose a game, they start crossing T's and dotting I's. And I think Seattle could have won the game tonight, but Geno Smith, sometimes, man, I think sometimes, man, he's holding them back. I like Geno, but I saw a lot of stuff tonight that I thought plays he could have made, and he takes sacks that he shouldn't take, and he knows that the 49ers got a massive pass rush, and if you get a couple of seconds, you got to get rid of that ball. You can't sit there and hold that ball, and they got good enough wide receiver personnel that I think they could have beat the 49ers with. I don't think the 49ers secondary is that good. To me, they're not. Tre'Davious Ward is okay, but if he was that great, why is he not still with the Chiefs? That's all I'm saying. That's all the brother's saying. But they 49ers win 31-13 on that. But so we play them next Thursday night. We play them in AT&T. Then we got 10 days off, as you see on the ticker. We got 10 days off. Then we play the Eagles with 10 days after they have played the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. And I think Buffalo. They should have lost Monday night. Let's just make the thing a thing. Because there's no way that Marquez Valdez-Scantling should have dropped that football that Patrick Mahomes basically laid in his hand. But whatever, man. At some point, that luck's running out, and they should have lost, and we'd be right in what we need to be. But Buffalo's gonna handle them too. But Buffalo got to have that win, and whatever. So, and then they get them. Then they get the 49ers. After that, then they get us. Yeah. They get the 49ers. They get the Bills this week. They get the 49ers, and the 49ers look massive today. Then they get us. Okay. And so we get them in 10 days. And then after that, we got Buffalo at Buffalo. That's going to be a challenge playing at Buffalo. Then we got to go to Miami. Then we get home to Detroit. And incidentally, that's the ring ceremony. One of the byproducts of the game last week in Carolina was, interestingly enough, you saw up in the suites, you saw Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, but off to the right of them, you saw Jimmy Johnson. I'm like, the heck Jimmy doing in the same room with Jerry? And then it comes out that Jerry used that. That's a low-ranking game, obviously, because we're playing the Carolina Panthers. Nobody's watching that game, right? But he makes the announcement that that's the game, that he makes the announcement to Fox. Jerry never passes up an opportunity to make a photo op or make a personal, appeal for a ratings grab or whatever, But he makes that game the date that he makes the announcement that after 30 years. Since he left, I mean, he probably wouldn't have been available 30 years ago to do it, but he's going to put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor. So the game, December 30th, against the Detroit Lions, is going to be the game that Jimmy Johnson goes up in the Ring of Honor when Jerry Jones is 81 and Jimmy Johnson is 80. And I guess he felt like, I got to get this done before we both croak, before Stephen Jones is not presenting it to Jimmy's grandson or whatever. The Ring of Honor, because both guys already had passed away. So, but Jerry, and I just wish Jerry would spend as much time and as much effort and as much energy putting together a better team, putting additions to the team, because Darius Shaquille Leonard got released by the Colts. He cleared waivers. Jerry, you gonna pick up the phone? We need linebacker help. You never had too many linebackers. 49ers run the ball. Them Eagles run the ball. Teams is running the ball on us. We need more hands on deck. I wish you was as in tune as that as you were trying to, improve ratings on a meaningless game, against the Carolina Panthers, trying to increase ratings. You playing that like months ago. Plan to make your team better. Do like all the other, teams, that are in the playoff hunt that made their teams better. Do that instead of trying to micromanage stuff. But those are our games. Then of course we got the after Detroit we go to Washington, and of course now from that point we're gonna see where we're at after that gauntlet. Okay. Now as much as I do criticize sometimes because I just point out what I see, I don't try to I just see, things. I see teams moving the ball on us, and I think they shouldn't be able to do that, But we've kind of adopted a bend but don't break strategy. So, against better teams, we're going to have to stop them because it's going to be, we playing the Philadelphia Eagles. We got to stop them because most of their drives, they're like 1st and 9 because once it's 3rd and 1, they're running that play and you're not stopping that. We're not stopping that. Nobody's stopping that. So you got to stop them on 1st down. So if it's a 2-yard pass, it needs to be a 2-yard pass. Or a 2-yard run, it needs to be a 2-yard run. It shouldn't be stretched out or broken tackles and guys running through tackles, getting 5 and 6 yards. So because you may as well chalk that up as a series that you lost. It's okay. Well, they're going to get a first down on this series. Let's look at the next series, because you get them, if you get them to where they get 6 or 7 yards, 8 yards on the first 2 downs, you may as well just go ahead and concede that first down on that series. So that's why I'm saying we got to start, bucking up in the middle of those lines, man. That's why I'm saying if we need more linebackers, Jerry, let's just go get them, okay? Because I don't want to just be another also ran. Let's try to win this thing, right? While this window was open, right? Let's just try to win this thing. All right. But hey, like the crawl says, we're 8-3, baby. I think we're 8-3 for the third consecutive year, man. We're 8-3. All right. And look, man, we're looking good. I think we can look better. But look, we could be somebody else. We could be Washington. We could be Carolina. Okay. We could be Tampa Bay. We could be Atlanta. We could be any of those teams. But we're 8-3. And we got a quarterback that's hot right now. We got a team that's playing well right now. And a team that's peaking right now. Coaching staff is calling plays right now, right now, unlike early in the season. We're 8-3, baby. We're 8-3. All right. And look, we got a week. We back here next Thursday, play them Seahawks. And let's see what it's going to be tough to do, because that would be Seahawks have been lost 3 games in a row. But hey, we there's a goal we trying to go. We got to stay unbeaten until we play them Eagles, where we got a chance to get this division, because I want the division. Okay, because I think the Eagles are rabbit foot is starting to fall out their pocket. You can't just continue to get lucky, man. Because like that play, I think that Tolbert knocked up in the air, and Brooks knocked up in the air, and Tolbert caught a winner, and I was like, well, that was lucky. I said, no, they just got Eagles luck. Because how many times the Eagles going to get a fumble and they go right back to somebody who fumbled it? That luck going to run out, man. It's going to run out. That's all I'm going to say. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Cowboys get a big win, 45-10 over the Commanders. We got the Seahawks next Thursday night. And, hey, man, it's a great win. Thanksgiving, second consecutive Thanksgiving win. Like I said, we're 8-3. Let's see where this thing goes, man. Let's get Seattle, and then let's go get them Eagles, and then let's let this thing, let's let this thing get how it goes, man. And look, man, it's good to be a Cowboy fan right about now. That's all I'm saying. It's good to be a Cowboy fan. I'm proud to be one right now. Okay. And what did y'all think about Dolly Parton? I'm not really a Dolly Parton fan, but woman is 77, and I know she wasn't moving around a whole lot, but did I got somebody in my chat? He giving the E. Okay, whatever, dude. Whatever. But yeah, what y'all think about Dolly Parton? I know she wasn't moving around a lot, but dang, she was able to fit in that the Cowboys cheerleader outfit. Wasn't nothing hanging over her belt. Legs was tight. You do know she's 77, right? I looked it up myself. I know she's been growing as long as I've been alive, right? But hey, man, you would hope to look that good at 77. I know she done had stuff done. I get all that too, but you would hope you look that good at 77. I'm just gonna say that, because most of us ain't gonna look like that at 77. All right. But anyway, that's all I got, man, for today. Please like, comment, subscribe. Get subscribed to your boy Uncle Fred. You're getting good content. I may not be big as Vosh and Will Skywalker and Koye, none of them dudes, Mark Holmes and Mike Fisher, but I give you pretty good content. So if you want to continue to hear your boy, go on and give me a subscribe, and give me a couple of likes, man. That just lets people know that we on the air, man. And go on and do that for your boy. But that's all we got, man. We'll catch you guys on the next video. God bless. If I said to you before, happy Thanksgiving, and y'all stay out them stores tomorrow morning too.